Alrighty, it is 7:05. We're gonna call this meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it's always nice when we have those. All right, if the clerk will call the roll, please.
Trustee Cappy,
Here.
trustee Hoff,
Here.
trustee Beglin,
Here.
president Gerke,
Here.
trustee Dorwart,
The president.
trustee Bartz, here, trustee Miley.
President.
Thank you.
All right, hearing we have a quorum, we are set to proceed. First item to go through is the consent agenda, which consists of the minutes from May 4th, 2023, and to approve the general fund, water and sewer invoices. I do not believe we have any additional bills.
No.
Motion to approve, consent agenda. Second. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, next public comments for anybody who would want to make public comments for anything here today, not on the agenda. Excellent, hearing none, we'll keep going. Next is a resolution expressing our appreciation for trustees McLarty and Long. We'll do it in that order, if you don't mind. All right, should we just read them? Do you want to come up and have it presented to you, or what do you want to do? I'll just read them and then I'll present it to you. How's that sound? All right, this is resolution 2023J, expressing our appreciation to William McLarty for his years of service as a village trustee. Whereas Bill McLarty was appointed to the position of village trustee in July 2018, and whereas Bill McLarty was elected as a trustee in April 2019 and served his community for 4 years, fulfilling the duties and responsibilities required as a village trustee, and whereas during his tenure, Bill McLarty served as a member of many of the standing committees and chaired the personnel and utilities committees. And whereas Bill McLarty showed true professionalism by performing his duties as village trustee honorably and selflessly, giving of his time, talent, and expertise in many areas. And whereas Bill McLarty never hesitated to step up in times of emergency to ensure the overall safety of the village of Fredonia and its employees. And whereas Bill McLarty was instrumental in recruiting, interviewing, and hiring outstanding talent to serve in key positions throughout the village. And out there, therefore, be it resolved that the village of Fredonia expresses its appreciation for the time, energy, and skills given to our community by Bill McLarty, passed and adopted by the village board of Fredonia on this 18th day of May 2023. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, no, it's the best one. I'm sorry.
All right, we'll move on to the one for John. All right, resolution 2023H, resolution expressing our appreciation to John Long for his years of service as a village trustee. Whereas John Long has served the village as trustee for the last 10 years, and whereas John used his expertise as an engineer to promote best practices in the upgrades and operation of the village's wastewater infrastructure. And whereas John played a significant role in maintaining the beauty and character of the village by chairing the Architectural Control Board for many years. And whereas John served as chair of the committee tasked with the recodification of the village's code of ordinances and also bringing them into the conformance with the nation's most commonly used format. And whereas John was never adverse to taking on duties that would pop up unexpectedly, such as recording closed session minutes or contacting an attorney or any of many other things. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of the board of the village of Fredonia wish to sincerely thank John Long for his years of dedicated service to the village and also wish that he will have many years of happy camping in the future. Passed and adopted by the village board of Fredonia on this 18th day of May 2023. Thank you, John.
I'll move to approve both resolutions.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. Any questions or concerns about any of that? All right, all those in Yeah, do you guys, yeah, I think so. Let's do some pictures quick. Since we're in the picture taking moods.
John.
John?
I lied, Don, sorry. We gotta take over.
No?
Big smile.
I think so.
Sign yours 3 times. Right. So we got it.
There we go. Big smile.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Next on our agenda is the Memorial Day 2023 proclamation. I'm gonna get tired of talking here today, but it's all for a good cause.
So it's a resolution.
It sure is.
Yes, I didn't update that.
Oh,
portion of
that's
the
okay.
agenda.
So this is resolution 2023I, a resolution to hold an annual Memorial Day observance in partnership with the American Legion. Whereas there is no higher honor or more solemn privilege than to represent our village in paying tribute to its honored dead with this resolution. Whereas on Monday, May 29th, 2023, the citizens of the village of Fredonia, state of Wisconsin, in the United States of America, gather to honor and pay tribute to all who have given their lives in the military service to our country. Whereas on this day, we also recognize the contributions of the American Legion and all of our veterans. We thank them for the great job they have done as members of the military and as members of our community. Therefore, let it be known that Memorial Day shall always be held in high esteem and its intent and purpose be upheld by future generations, that the village of Fredonia recognizes the efforts and will continue to support the American Legion, who for many generations has sponsored their observance. So be it resolved, the village of Fredonia shall hold in partnership with the American Legion or its stead an annual Memorial Day observance and continue the maintenance of this Veterans Park and its memorial. Passed and adopted by the village board of the village of Fredonia on this 18th day of May 2023.
You can wait to sign that one until I have a better pen for you.
That sounds great.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem. All right, I need
to approve that resolution.
excellent.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second by these fine gentlemen. Any other questions, concerns? All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye, opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a presentation by Sergeant Leap thanking donors for contributions toward the Marshall's Defibrillators fundraiser.
Thank you. That's obviously what our little picture opportunity was here before. Not all of our donors could stay, but we do still have some here in the gallery. When I first launched this, my hope was to get one and we could swap it back and forth between the two swaps. I somewhat underestimated the generosity of a lot of our center groups up here. And as I sit here looking at this list, I shouldn't have been surprised that not only was I able to get enough to get one, they raised enough to get two and some additional funds to give us stock of supplies that we need, pads, consumables, emergency responder kits. When I look at the list of donors, many of these have a long history of civic service and service to the community. So it shouldn't have come as a surprise. Among the donors, in a specific note, we have Bruce and Deborah Pate in the adult daycare, who hosted a broad fry. Guy and O'Neill provided a significant donation. Fredonia Lions Club, they're all significant donations. Fredonia's Lions Club, who we have in attendance here. Ozaki Lodge 17, Fort Washington State Bank, the Warren Kane Post 410 of Legion. Even our village administrator, Chris, donated to the cause. It's all been outstanding, and I wish to thank them, those here, and those that weren't able to stay.
And I will tell you that Eric was out there and Mike came down and although the bum shoulder and stuff, but Eric and Mike Berry tried broth from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. And it was a crappy day. But they were there.
Well, we certainly thank everybody and job well done. I think that all of these fine people deserve a round of applause, so let's say thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, next we have a presentation by Jesse. Is he here?
So that I think has already happened. Mr. Schubert presented donation towards the defibrillators.
Okay.
And he has left.
I was gonna say, I think you left. Okay, well, we thank him as well.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to report on operations of the village by the village. Different people, the village people of which I am one. All right, let's see. First is the village president. I don't have a whole lot to say other than we keep making strides towards doing different things as far as community outreach. Our strategic planning, we had our first meeting, that was a couple weeks ago, that was great. We keep making strides on the business park and things like that, as you'll see later. And just really good job by everybody here. I think that we're really moving in the right direction. So thank you all for your help and your service to the community. With that, we'll move to the village administrator.
Sure, I love your packet on some highlights here, we've got a lot of stuff with permits, building permits, working permits, chickens. It's kept us pretty busy in the last few weeks, but we're happy to do that work. Since you guys passed that budget resolution, we updated all these workforce and got that maybe not, and I delivered the updated budgets, about that. Went through our board review training as for the European coverage last time, that was thrilling. Treasurer Debbie and I, we met with the top 10 because you will have with hours at our financial advisor that we have. To talk through debt restructuring and then annual CFP funding and all that stuff. So really just kind of learning about what you guys currently have and how we can be creative our finance. Let's see. Trustee Happy, Greg Paulson and I did our road tour. Lots of fun. We had to drive around. We literally graded every single road in the village with the figure system that the state uses. We're inputting that data into the state list source system, and then taking that data to our own study, conditions of our roads. Director policy working on utility grades too, mesh all that data together, and then we'll meet with public works, kind of a sense of this is what we found, this is our plan of action, so forward. That's what we decided. My run continues to move forward. Last I checked, we have only 2 kids, maybe 6.
I have 50 on my list.
50
Yes,
Wow.
plus your
Okay.
kid. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we have like 80 kids that are ready to go. So that's exciting. Hey, you're right.
Yeah, and they all seem very excited when the parents, so it's exciting.
So we walked, president and trustee Barnes and I, we walked the Marine Cross area. We got a pretty good idea of what we're going to do for us. And had more discussions with area on obstacles and create some ideas there. We're also really excited about it. And of course, we've been following up on economic development stuff, now general press, and then the to be announced one that we'll talk about later.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Administrator Jenkins. Next, we have the village marshal.
Evening, you have the report, if there are any questions on that, I'm happy to answer those.
Anybody have any questions?
Barring none, I will tell you that Eric and Dan Wolf assisted the sheriff's department with a dog search of no one's off the high school last week Friday. We generally do that twice a year. We've done that for years with them. Nothing significant to report, which is always good. And because I do not like surprises, I'm going to guess you don't either. So I'm going to tell you that I'm retiring from Port on December 31st. And I'm going to leave here on March 31st of next year. Eric and I will work to ensure a seamless transition and to this.
Excellent. Perfect.
You're gonna work part-time?
Nope.
We're working part-time.
I got job openings where I work. The cops.
Selection.
I'm sure you will.
I wouldn't wait for that phone call.
I was very sarcastic. in that. Please.
All right, anything else for the marshal? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. All right, fire chief. I don't believe we have, he's not here. So we'll move on to public works and wastewater.
My report this month is small compared to previous, but don't worry, it's coming up. Any questions on the report? You know, one thing that we finished up in the last 2 weeks here that's not on here, which is the next one, was valve turning and extra flushing. So I believe normally in the village was May through October, they flushed. We started Monday and we finished yesterday.
Nice work.
So everything in the village got flushed.
Any stuck valves?
We found another broke hydrant that was broke open. So that's 4 that were. All valves were open, so working on the pressure issue. But we did blow rocks, not the small ones either. Enough to fit through a 6-inch hole that we're pulling rocks out of there.
It's good for the equipment.
Was the hydrant that was open, was that leaking out through the weep hole? Or spraying out?
It must have been going underneath, but I think it's only like 3 turns. So Jason couldn't get the cap off, and then we went to go try and spin it, it just spun around, so we had to shut off the valve. So, which is not ideal because there is one that's right by the DPW shop, there is one for Peterson, but there would be a fire. But basically I have no hydrants around there.
Was that the one back behind my fence that was broke?
No, it's not brother, but the one over by you, which is, you know, think of is, we open that one up and it shoots water behind it, so I'm not sure what's possible on that one.
Cause that's when I noticed once.
So,
Yeah, but then did you go? Okay. All right, Bruce, did you have a question? I saw.
No, you're talking about pressure, but on the other side of 40 or 57, when you open that one. I bet you that was spraying at least 100 yards.
it should, it's a 10-inch main feeding that one, but
That doesn't loop. And that's at that ender.
that's a,
All right. Any other questions, Eric? Anything on the wastewater side?
obviously the DNR is a slow process to move on anything. My results will be released on Tuesday. From there, I have the application, everything's filled out. Once I get the results, I can move forward, so I'm anticipating July 3rd, start of, 3rd quarter, start of that.
Awesome. Excellent. All right, any other questions for Eric? Hearing none, we're gonna move on. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. To the clerk.
So I sent my report in, and I just wanted to point out, that Civic Plus sent us some analytics from the website, which I was pretty excited about. We had over 6,000 page views, over 4,500 unique page views. That means 4,500 different times people have visited the website. So that's exciting. And then Chris also included with that, some Facebook statistics, which I have to read. Facebook now has over 1,000 subscribers, an increase of 400 since fall of last year. We reached engagement with about 6,000 people a month, and our reach is approaching 15,000. Reaches the audience that we're pushing content out to. So it's pretty exciting to be in such good contact with all of our residents. But beyond that, I don't have anything to add.
No, that's great. That's good work. And the more we do that type of thing, the more we can hopefully get more input from citizens and other people and keep doing what we're here to do. All right, anything else for the clerk? All right, we'll move on to the treasurer's report, which I believe is in your packet.
Melissa Halbert, she enjoyed herself at campsite.
Like it. The one question that I had was the 180 past due water and sewer accounts. Did we ever check to make sure that wasn't like an error with the auto billing thing?
Yeah, so she did follow up with workforce there, legit. I don't know if anyone came back yet.
We had, so I think they hit today. I think people got them in the mail today, because like after 2 o'clock, we started getting phone calls from people who were like, oh. And we had a few people come in, towards the end of the day to pay. So we'll see what next week is like.
Total was 80,000.
Yeah, it was some
Yeah.
astonishing number.
Right, I know a couple of years ago when that happened, the auto thing had gotten screwed up and anybody that was supposed to do it didn't have it run through, so that was interesting. But, okay, any other questions on the treasurer's report? All right, we will move on to Ozaukee County District Supervisor.
Good. As I will reiterate what I said at the last meeting, please pay attention to what's going on at all levels of government, not just local, state, federal, even county. So I'm not sure if anyone had a chance to read the article in the press. But for those who are here who may not know, the county was awarded with these, what they call ARPA dollars, was awarded $17.3 million. Out of the $17.3 million that they were awarded, they decided to set aside $5 million for EMS services, EMS and fire services. And since that time, we've whittled away from that $17 million is pretty much gone. We've got about $5 million left that they want to use for LaSada, to build a new LaSada campus. So there were some projects that came up from some nonprofits, most of them are roofs, and in the paper, it said that we spent $940,000, and that came directly out of the fire and EMS money that we had set aside, which I personally think is unacceptable, since that should be the number one thing that we should be focused on in this county. And I know the north of the county has worked very hard to work on consolidation, so we can keep things moving in the right direction after a study that we had done to increase response times and equipment and all that, because it's a burden on each municipality. So that got passed. I tried to delay it because we don't know how that's going to affect with that money that came out of the $5 million. We don't know how that's going to affect the EMS services. If there's going to be enough money there, we hope. I don't like to live off of we hope there's going to be enough money. I like to have the numbers in front of me. I made a motion to delay it. It got shot down, and we ended up proceeding to pass, like I said, almost $1 million worth of nonprofits. So again, please pay attention. I'm one person there out of 26. Please call, please email. If you see something coming up on the agenda, don't hesitate to contact me, email me, let me know. But like I said, I'm not real thrilled with what's going on out there right now, especially with these funds that we receive from the federal government. So gonna keep pushing and working towards, like I said, making sure that EMS and fire get fully funded the way that's supposed to be. So it's working across all of Ozaukee County. But just want to make everyone aware to just pay attention, get involved, call, email, whatever you can do. Every little bit helps. So.
Josh, is there a way for citizens to get those agendas and things that are coming out automatically? Who should we contact?
Absolutely. You can contact the clerk up at the county. You can go on the website and go underneath the government tab and click. You can see the different agendas that are coming up, when the meetings are. You can even email. You can even click on there. Any supervisors, you can click right on their name. Will come up with their email, and you can even email the whole board. They'll even come with someone. You just fill in the title, what you'd like to discuss, and it goes out to every member of the Ozaukee County board. So there's a few different ways. If you're not sure, like I said, go ahead and call the clerk. They'll get your name on a list, and then you can stay updated on what's going on and get the agendas and what's coming up.
And if somebody would like to attend the meetings, when do they take place?
Take place first and third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. at the Administration Center in Port Washington.
Excellent.
Josh, question, what was the vote like for those, the money that went to the nonprofits instead of the EMS? Was it a close vote or was it overwhelming?
No, it was pretty resounding vote. So they,
Really?
so initially
Do you
how,
remember exactly or 26?
20, like 5 to 19 or something like that.
Something like that.
And you was no vote, huh? Oh my gosh.
so what ended up happening is they wanted to bring the package as a total amount, which originally was $1.4 million. And then their motion was made to separate each project out individually and vote on it individual. So the only one that failed, which I was not a fan of, was the United Way requested $200,000 for a one-time position. And it was just a one-time expense and they were gonna figure out how to maintain this position. And that's not what this money was supposed to be used for. That's the only thing that failed. Otherwise, the rest of it passed pretty unanimously, pretty overwhelmingly. So I'm talking like 24-2, 25-1. So I went one by one per project instead of initially they wanted to clump it all together as one.
With their EMS services and such, I don't know, I want to say dire need, but.
No, that's all right.
We need this, we
Yeah.
need this, why are the nonprofits more worthy? Did they ever, how do they justify it, you know?
So this came up last year. So the idea is we had the $17.3 million and everyone was like, this is great. This is a lot of money. What are we gonna do with it? Yeah, held a meeting last year in June to meet with the nonprofits. And at that time it was like, hey, bring us some of your ideas, some of your projects. We're gonna have all this money. We're gonna be able to help you out. Anywho, as time went on here, we had fire and EMS, then we approved a building down at the Justice Center to get built. And pretty soon all these projects started taking precedent, and then we realized, wow, we got a lot of county projects we want to do. Maybe we should put for nonprofits on the back burner. Well, then they came back and said, yeah, but you guys promised us this last year. So, and then some supervisors felt that, yeah, we have to do something here. And I will tell you, most of that got approved was roofs getting repaired. One was for family sharing to get a refrigeration truck. But outside of that, that's why it was like, well, you said we were going to get this and now you're going back on your word. So we felt like we had to do something. So, but no, I agree. The EMS is in dire need. And when they came up and said, well, we're going to spend this money, but we don't know if there's going to be enough for fire and EMS services. We hope there is, but we don't know if there's going to be enough. It's like, we need to put the brakes on this. And that fell on deaf ears because the argument was, well, they had a year to get everything ready, but that's not true. Forms didn't come out till November last year. Yeah.
They can find different dollars.
Money burning a hole in their
That's just my
pocket.
opinion.
Well, we have our funds too, and we spent our money differently than. So looking at the county with the 5 million and us getting 235. We allocated money in wrong directions also.
I'm only here to answer county projects.
Thank you.
Well, are there any other questions or?
I'm gonna jump on. We had a meeting with our. It sounds like the revolving loan fund is still
Yep.
paying, so that's
a good thing.
good news.
Yep.
That little tongue in cheek that we got this past week about affordable housing, right? So initiatives that we can help.
All right, any other questions for Josh? All right, we're gonna move on to items for discussion and or action then, and going right off of this, we are looking for a motion to approve a detailed cost analysis of the fire EMS program for the county. So if someone will let a motion that, we would be getting in discussion.
I'll make a motion.
All right, I have a motion from trustee Bartz,
Second.
and a second from trustee Haas. Discussion, maybe Chris, do you wanna open it up?
So this is maybe round 3 of information the county's asking for from us. We have the EMS hours. They very simply, they want to break down our estimated costs to sustain the program, and then at least an idea of how we're going to fund it. And so this is the letter that we have only submitted with our insurance for agreement to the county. It's a that would be more numbers to it. So you see that our estimated budget, and some should be familiar to you guys, about $350,000 annually to operate this program. And as we all know, on January 1st of 2026, that burden, that cost, when the taxpayers, this county that are not part of this. And so the key sentence here in the third paragraph says that the additional costs will be funded out of the respective municipality general levy dollars that invoiced by the village of Fredonia. Anticipating municipalities would welcome assistance if policy allows. These costs be offset through the state legal or county cooperation. So again, it's saying that if the state doesn't come to save us, the county doesn't come to save us, we all know that we give this county responsible to pay for this kind of tax. Yep, state funding comes in, the county wants to get second, obviously it's 3 years away, that might happen. Until that, then it's just us acknowledging that, yes, we know that two months costs come January. I want that insurance. Are you passing this? It's us telling them that we.
Excellent. Anybody have any questions on any of this?
Chris, other boards were privy to get this information and approved as well.
So they don't, primary county, they don't have to.
Okay.
They're the ones getting $10.
Okay.
We have to go for their parents.
Okay.
Is this just what the village of Fredonia would owe, or is it with,
No, this is the full.
for the full?
Split ended up being, 30, 20.
Any more questions or discussion? If not, then I'm gonna call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we have a motion to approve ordinance 2023 for amending the Village of Fredonia Code of Ordinances pertaining to the zoning administrator. So I guess I can start this off by saying Chris and I took a look through the ordinance and this came about with the chicken coops and some other things. And what ended up happening is we noticed that the zoning administrator is currently the building inspector, which doesn't necessarily make sense for a lot of the different things that we're doing, especially if we're not gonna have building inspectors look at chicken coops, then why would he be the zoning administrator that would be enforcing that or going out there to take a look at things? So those type of different scenarios. So in talking with Chris, he's here full time. This is something that he felt that he'd be comfortable going and knocking on doors if somebody was in violation of something and saying, hey, what's going on?
I'm not going to too long, but the plat reviews.
Right.
CSM, which is what I've been doing.
Do we have a building inspector per se, or
We do.
would that be? Roger Keeson.
John Gerber.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah, John Gerber.
Okay.
This is basically more housekeeping than anything else.
It is, yeah, this doesn't change. So anyway, I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt this if the board so chooses.
Second.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-4.
All right, I got a motion by trustee Beglin,
Second.
second by trustee Miley.
Easy to use.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now next one is the addition to our packet. This has to do with the insurance renewals, and I'm gonna have Chris take this one away to talk about this a little bit.
Sure. So first off, I probably got it last minute. We met with our insurance agent Tuesday, a deadline for renewal of June 1st. Guess what? You guys meet next on June 1st. And I didn't quite work out, so we were going to do something. So really all I need you to look at is the summary sheet. The role you have in front of you. So you are currently with EMC Insurance, when President Gerke came on, we prior to, we had given money know that one of the things we wanted us to look at was kind of really getting out our insurance to see just how competitive we were. So we ended up speaking to 3 different agents, ended up settling with our current agent, who is Eric from EMC Insurance. But then even within his division, he also marketed out between a couple of carriers. And so he ended up coming back to us with 2 different carriers, one of which is EMC again, the current provider, the other one is CIC. So if we look at the columns here, the first row is our expiring policy. The second row is if we renewed with our current company. And then the third row is if we renew, started with CIC. I'll let you know that CIC's quote was always at least somewhat less than EMC. However, when we first got these numbers, the annual came in about 125. There was about $40,000 jump from the current policy we had. So we met with Eric, tried to get the SI, and he's really kind of like the policy we find to come and found some ways that we could stabilize. Good example of that is general liability. Your occurrence limit has been 2 million, it's always been 2 million forever and ever and ever. They CIC reported us at 6 million, which I can imagine a premium. We found that yes, while costs are going up, we recognize that and capitalize on the staff. Another good example is the automobile deductible. We've had 2,000 as a deductible for collision for quite a long time. After talking with your deputy director, we felt that there was enough risk tolerance there to increase the deductible to 5,000 to save some money. And we kept it at 2,000. The CIC was significantly more expensive. So after all those numbers were quoted, you see that total change and then from 83,000 this year to 91,174. What's being offered to us now. There's questions I'm happy to answer for you, but.
Can you speak a little bit to the, looks like cyber liability, we had some coverage there, we had an umbrella, crime, why do we not have those? Why should we not have
So
those?
we do.
Okay.
It's just that it's all rolled up in the general liability, so that's why you see such significant change from 5,020, it's all rolled up.
Thank you.
Well, no, if you really get, forward one night and you look through the 30-page insurance document that was sent to you, there is some cool information about the rates itself. And so you'll see a lot of our payroll items, even our payroll costs, obviously calling out for hiring people, the actual rate amounts of our analysis size. So if there was ever a time, we had that analysis size.
Even the cost of insurance is going up, huh?
What are you talking here, like 8% increase? Right around there. That's right, it's not bad. All things considered, it's not great, but it could be worse.
I am happy we looked around because the alternative is going from an $83,000 premium to 104.
Yeah, right.
So
I'll make a motion to approve the $91,174 with CIC insurance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Anybody, concerns? All right, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, at this time, we are looking for a motion to go into closed session pursuant to state statute 19.85 1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, investing public funds. And you can read the rest. So if.
Motion to adjourn into closed session.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. We'll call the vote. We'll start with Bruce.
Aye.
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 All right, we are in closed session. Thank you, everybody.
And good for now, second.
Yeah. Rick, before you shut it off, let's read the second one, so we get that on video.
Okay, well, we're also going to motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance for the village administrator's contract approval. So I'll need a motion for that too.
So moved.
And a second. All right, again, I'll call vote. Start with Bruce again.
Aye.
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 All right, we are in closed session twice. We are
All
unmuted.
right, I will make a motion to proceed with the offer to purchase as discussed in closed session.
The date of Monday, the 22nd. For the accepted. You gotta have a motion to.
Well, as discussed in closed session. Right?
Was that really discussed?
Do you want the accepting and?
It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't matter.
Okay, because,
Sign it when we sign it.
yeah,
It's not bad. Okay, so I've got that motion. Did I get a second? I'm sorry. Oh, no, we got a second. All right, I have motion a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And looking for action from the contract.
Motion to proceed as discussed in closed session.
All right, I have a motion a second. Any questions? I'll call the roll. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously again. All right, do we have correspondence at all? No, all right, items for future consideration by the village board, any issues? Not, I think we're in order to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? We're out of here. Thank you, everybody.
Chris, do we make $11,000 interest already this year?
We didn't pay $26,000.
So it's just,
Oh,
On what?
We're giving five.
well, the 11,342, that's just these accounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
That's more than we've made in the last 10 years.
I know.
And that is right.
it's our reinvestment into different, well, it's different places that we reinvested in one.
Yeah, we're in a state of.
Without her, that's not fun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Good idea.
Oh, wow.
Started late, none of them, that's an hour and a half. That's not bad.
That's what I was doing.
Pretty good.